Piggy is an indie horror thriller and tells the story of Sarah, an overweight teen who's bullied severely for her weight until she witnesses a serial killer kidnap the girls who bullied her. She's then torn between telling the police and keeping the secret. Okay, so obviously that's a very gripping scenario. I was very intrigued to know where this tale was going to go, and I rushed to see this flick. Like, the idea of this girl connecting with a serial killer because the rest of the town has gone nuts sounded quite intriguing to me. I rushed to see this, and it sadly wasn't that well explored. I'm not going to beat around the bush here, guys. I really didn't like this film. Now, it does have a very strong star. Sarah is played by Laura Gallen, I think that's how you say her name, and she's just fantastic. She really sunk her teeth into this role. When she's saying absolutely nothing, you can just see the agony in her face. This girl is so vilified, and it's really gotten to her as time has gone by. And add to that, the character, Sarah, just isn't that nice, and when you see the town that she's come from, it's not hard to see why. Sarah gets bullied by everyone, and it's so over the top I just couldn't believe it. It's not just a few bullies, it seems like the entire town is just psychotic. Even her parents are assholes, and I have no idea why. I just couldn't believe any of it. And from there, it did something I hate all films doing, man. It just became gross for the sake of it. And I'm not talking about horror violence, because surprisingly, there's not that much of that. I'm talking about the way the cinematography dehumanizes Sarah by making her look gross. Overly zooming in on her body in a tight bikini, her sweaty face when binge eating, and the butcher shop she works in is just so gross and full of blood staining paper. And it never came across to me like they were trying to show us her inner beauty and that she's a wounded human being underneath all of this. It almost made me look at her the same way the rest of the town does, like she's an actual pig. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't the filmmaker's intention, but if it was, I don't think it worked at all. There's even a scene where Sarah gets on her period and it starts going everywhere, and I'm like, why? This is just kind of tacky. It just felt so childish, and add to that, the midpoint was just a drag. And I'm quite surprised by that because it was a very focused story. There were no B-plots or any other things going on. It was just a simple, straightforward story, and it just couldn't make it interesting. I wasn't gripped to any of it. And the third act came along and it was just tropey. Nothing about it surprised me or interested me. And the serial killer could have been so much more interesting, but he just wasn't well explored. The credits went up and I just felt like I wasted my time here. Now, as I said, Piggy isn't exactly that gory. This isn't one of those horror films that relies heavily on kill scenes. There's not that much of that going on, and I do respect that, but it doesn't mean I found any of this entertaining or gripping. So in the end, Piggy is well made and it's very well acted. It's got some good aesthetics and I can tell there are some talented people behind the camera. But it's all just thin, childish and kind of boring to me. I really wasn't into it. And a great strong lead performance from Laura Gallen, or however you say her name, isn't enough to save this. I really didn't like this, and this isn't a good start to 2023. I'm going to give Piggy a 3.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The badger appreciates you.